Forrest Fenn's map poem took me precisely to this cross that Forrest hid. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. But tarry scant with marvel gaze. Just take the chest and go in peace. With marvel gaze. Why, you ask? When you've found Forrest's secret area where the blaze is, that's up on the ledge, when you know ledge, the imagination takes over. You need this imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is more important than no league. There's a reason Forrest Fenn mixed up these words. From Forrest Fenn's secret area, they'll look quickly down from the blaze, your quest to cease. The cease, T.S. Eliot, brings you back to where you started, at the parking lot. But is contrasting from the ridge back down to the parking lot. But is used to introduce a phrase or a clause contrasting with what has already been mentioned. So look quickly down, your quest to cease, but tarry scant is contrasting from the ridge down the steep hill at the front of the ledge back to the parking lot, which is the real tarry scant. Here's the big one. Here's the pinpoint precise spot Forrest was referring to when we use our imagination now. Clark Kent is Marvel Comics. It's Marvel, folks, not Marvel. Marvel. Remember, give the poem to a child so they can read it. They'll see the comic book references. My only goal in this endeavor is to talk about a few of my life experiences, and if any readers over the age of 12 don't see a little of themselves in this mirror, then maybe they deserve another turn. Forrest Fenn worked with Joe at the newsstand, and his life experiences were based on these comic books that were originals when he was back working with Joe. They were #1 comics. Superman, Captain America. They were the funny books, the comic books, the ha-ha-ha moment that Forrest Fenn used on this cross with Clark Kent for Marvel. Forrest Fenn talked about getting old, but he said, "My mind stays at about 13, the average age for kids dealing with comic books." Forrest used J.R. Williams comics. Forrest also used Captain America comics in his stories. They were all his funny book heroes. Submariner comics. He also used Fort for Fort at Palisade surrounds a fort. Captain America went through time to be with Peggy, and so did Forrest. I will rest through all of time and space, knowing Peggy was there somewhere waiting for me. Forrest Fenn also used Red Ryder comics in his stories to get his point across how important comic books were. And looking for Lois and Clark was really looking for Lois and Clark. Lois wins. Everyone Forrest brings up is in comic books. Wimpy is in a comic. Joker is the supervillain for Batman. Who's Who is the definitive DC comic book universe. Anyone you want to find is in the Who's Who books. The Fox and the Hound comics. Napoleon comics. Caliph, Phantom Sword of Caliph. John Charles, the British Comics Database. Olive oil for the green olives. L's. LL is notorious for Superman's villains or any characters he deals with. Lanier School is the writer from Scratch Comics. Here's a great one. Old Biddies, cartoons and comics. That sideways-looking face, Two-Face, supervillain. Cannonball, on fire. Cannonball is a superhero. We can't leave out the old bat now, can we? One of the obvious ones, Thor. Comics. Marx in Savvy, 101. Comic Books 101, The History. Street Smarts 102. Clever and Smart, number 102. Condor. Freedom Comics, Toledo, Ohio. More than 300 miles west. Bessie and Me. Pack a punch like effing Superman. That's what a Bessie can do. This is one of the many hidden treasures in Superman, Clark Kent clues. All the cats in the neighborhood, all 6 of them. Comics. Superman, the King of Marbles. And Forrest Fenn, the Grand Marble Champion of the 7th grade. Billy the Kid, Comics. Hopalong Cassidy, Comics. Strawberry Shortcake, Comics. Meadowlark, comic book hero. Robin, superhero. Candor. Before Krypton exploded, the futuristic city was captured by the supervillain Brainiac, miniaturized by his shrinking ray and placed inside a glass bell jar. Mr. District Attorney, Comics. Silver, Lone Ranger's famous horse. Skippy, another comic. And June is another comic. Alpha is another Alpha Comic Book Club. Your Hit Parade. Hit Parade was another comic book. The Caddy Railroad. Caddy Keene. 2 1960s train comic. Main Street Cowboys. Simpson Comics. Yellowstone Comics. Paperboy Comics. Totem Cafe Caper. Totem Comic. Skaggs Variety. Also, Boss Skaggs for the Joker. Another obvious superhero, the Hulk. Comics. Brown Gravy. Gravy Train Comics. Frosty. A giant snowman. Garbage Truck. Arcade's Garbage Truck is a fictional vehicle featured in comic books. Okay, I had to go back to Skippy again. Made in 1923, usually wearing an enormous collar and tie and a floppy checkered hat. You get it, right? My brother being Skippy, the cartoon character, the comic strip. Oh, tell me, wise sir, where are the treasures? And the wise man replied, wherever you find them. Forrest Fenn's comics were sprinkled throughout these books. Okay, I've only reached page 53 in the first book, The Thrill of the Chase. Look at the incredible amount of subtle clues sprinkled. Forrest Fenn hid these comic book treasures throughout his books over a 15-year span. When you hear the word Marvel and DC, who are the first 2 characters that you immediately think of? I'm only through a third of just the first of 3 books. Now we know what Marvel is in Forrest Fenn's poem. In only 53 pages, you can see this many comic book and Marvel and DC clues and hints. I will finish the 538 plus pages left to find superheroes in the rest of the books later. Let's see how Aunt Esther and Gaze fits in. Let's look at the first of the many Aunt Esther connections for Marvel Gaze. God will forgive me. That's what he does. Imagination is more important than knowledge. This work began in 1991 with my first book, Aunt Esther's Story. This was a short biography of my adopted aunt, a black working-class Londoner. Finishing up with the untold story of the gay men who served in 2 world wars, fighting proud. Esther is Gaze. This is why Forrest had 20,000 words. This is Forrest Fenn's 20,000 word auto by bibliography in the olive jar. If you're not seeing who's who in Forrest's Marvel and DC universe, then give this information to a child so they can explain all the freaking awesome and amazing superhero connections that lead directly to Superman on Forrest's cross. Once again, if you've been wise, you have found the treasures hidden in Forrest Fenn's stories about DC and Marvel comics. Comic books, that's what Forrest Fenn's treasures were. If any readers over the age of 12 don't see a little of themselves in this mirror, that's huge, folks, in this mirror. What is the mirror dimension in Marvel? The mirror dimension is a parallel dimension that allows the user to practice their magical abilities and fight their enemies without the public's knowledge. Forrest Fenn's My 2 Cents. Forrest Fenn's mirror dimension is all of his universe of superheroes in his books. Everyone has a superhero or a supervillain that is their favorite. Forrest's was Captain America, but obviously Superman. Why was there 20,000 words, 20,000 leagues under the sea comic books? Imagination is more important than no league. Clark Kent is Marvel, Aunt Esther is Gaze. Oh my god! I went through 53 pages and I forgot to give you the front cover, the thrill of the chase. Superman 1.61, thrill of the chase. I thought about just ending this video because of the huge amount of comic book connections so far is undeniably awesome, but I'm going to give answers to some of Forrest's quotes, and they are beautifully creative too. I know there was some kind of quote somewhere about people are watching the elephants and not watching the ants, or the ants and not watching the elephants. Here's the reason. Someone mentioned to me at one point that Forrest Fenn said there's a dead man guarding the treasure chest. Dead Man Comics. Forrest Fenn said nobody is going to stumble upon that treasure chest. Forrest Fenn said he tripped over the grave marker in Vietnam. You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall, but in time they will join you. When the sun comes, Cal, in time, you will help them accomplish wonders. Forest. It was found in the lush vegetation of the Rocky Mountains. Forest. It was found in the lush vegetation of the Rocky Mountains. What the fuck is this? Lush? I'm pretty sure Forrest mentioned Mandrake and the Shadow Knows. Hard to find that information now. Emily, all of the information you need to find the treasure is in the poem. The chapters in my book are very subtle hints, but are not deliberately placed to aid the seeker. I have so many more, but need to get this video posted. But I want to leave you with this. Forrest said, clues are in the poem, but my book has hints that will help a person with the clues. The book won't take you to the treasure chest, but it will help you with the clues in the poem. Hi folks, that saying right there, the book will not take you to the treasure chest. The actual poem, the 9 clues, are what bring you to the treasure chest that I found at Palisade Sill. Jack Stoof said straight out, I never solved the 9 clues to find the treasure chest. He stumbled across it. Folks, there's a red flag right there. I'm telling you that I'm the one that solved the 9 clues in the poem. I'm the one that dissected them correctly, precisely, and it brought me directly to that cross at Palisade Sill. That was the very first thing I parked in front of. And Forrest said, you will go directly to the treasure if I gave you the first put in below the Homer Brown. That's the from Palisade Sill. There is Palisade Sill. Begin, it is the map. I've already solved the 9 clues, folks. This is where everyone gets confused and they don't believe anyone in the whole Fenn community. And I'm hoping that the vloggers will jump on board. I know I bust their balls, but it's time, folks. The actual solve is coming out here on my videos, and I'm giving it to everyone. That's the difference. The actual solve to Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt revolves around Kent and Esther. And no, they were not in the poem. That's what the poem leads you to. And all of those answers of Kent and Esther that I give about superheroes, about Clark Kent. There's so many Clark Kent and so many Aunt Esther inside the stories that validate what this whole treasure hunt was about. And that's where people get confused. They don't understand the Kent and Esther. That was the cross that Forrest Fenn made and put in the Rocky Mountains. He put it about 2.5 hours away, or 2 hours from Santa Fe up at Palisade Sill. He said, Forrest Fenn said, I put the treasure where I left it 2 trips in one afternoon, and I got home before Peggy even knew that I had gone anywhere. Folks, that's not Wyoming. That's not Yellowstone. 14-hour drive up. And if he took a plane, he still has to, there's no way in hell that treasure chest was in Yellowstone. If you believe that, you've got more rocks in your head than I do. And I mean that in the kindest way. This treasure hunt was fraudulently given to everybody about a position in Wyoming at Yellowstone Park. It was not. I'm here giving out the information of what it really was. And I'm calling out the people who are responsible for lying about this. Folks, you may not understand that Forrest Fenn had no idea that the treasure chest was retrieved by Shiloh in October 2019. July of 2019, I secretly mailed, so that nobody would see it or nobody would hack anybody's computer. I mailed it to Forrest Fenn. That's how they're blocking me, because I have no trail of what I sent to Forrest Fenn, besides possibly a receipt of the date when I sent it. But it's the actual pictures that I sent Forrest Fenn of the Kent and Esther cross. Forrest Fenn knew in July of 2019 that the treasure chest had been found. Okay? He told Shiloh. He told Sasha Johnson. Sasha Johnson put it out on a video. And I'm sure I'm going to get a call from Jason Dent tomorrow screaming at me again. I don't care. This is the truth of what happened. Sasha Dent put a video out stating somebody was really, 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 really close to the treasure. And that was roughly August of 2017, maybe September. And that is a month or two after I sent Forrest Fenn the picture of the cross at Palisade Sill. All the rest that you folks have been told, you've been duped by Shiloh Old and by Jack Stoof. And they're getting called out on it. And I'm going to finish this mini-series and prove that. But right now, if you don't understand how the whole thing unfolded, that's the reason why. Forrest Fenn did not know that Shiloh stole it in 2019 in September. And when Forrest Fenn in December of 2019 said, hey, I want to end the hunt, he was waiting for one email from one guy. That was me, folks. And I didn't know that he was waiting. I found a bottle under the cross at Kent and Esther, and I thought it led to more clues. So I I was going to wait until I retired so I didn't get arrested digging. But that's why this whole thing turned into a shit show, because Shiloh Old stole the treasure chest behind Forrest Fenn's back, because Forrest said, hey, this is where it was. The guy found the spot, but I don't know if he dug it up. Shiloh went and dug it up, folks. And that's the shit show that we're dealing with. Everybody thinks they're the solver. Nobody wants to listen to what the actual truth is. So what I had to do, I waited until I was going to retire, which was the same month that Jack Stoof came forward. Or actually, Jack Stoof didn't come forward until after. Shiloh had to get that patsy to come in and say, hey, I want you to say you found this. Folks, Shiloh sent Forrest Fenn an anonymous picture, and Forrest Fenn started announcing me. The man from back east found it under a canopy of stars in the lush vegetation of the Rocky Mountains. It was me, folks. That's who found the treasure chest location. But finding a clue, it was the bottle was just like Jackie Onassis Kennedy story. One of my other treasures was a little bottle that Jackie Onassis left to me. So I thought it led to another clue, folks. That's the shit show we're in. So now Forrest received the information about a picture with all anonymous. That was what was announced. Remember? He wants to remain anonymous because Forrest didn't know who sent the picture. When Shiloh realized Forrest Fenn was starting to give information about me, the man from back east, under a canopy of stars, the lush vegetation, that's when Shiloh had to jump in with Jack. And then Forrest Fenn never announced Jack as a solver. He never announced him as a finder because Jack Stoof was a patsy. And Forrest Fenn had to protect Shiloh. Folks, this is so obvious of a fraudulent ending to this massive treasure hunt that we all poured our hearts into. And I'm giving you what the information is. I knew Kent and Esther were the final resting place. I just did not know who they were. So me feeling, I didn't know because of my acquired savant, I felt like I have to find out who Kent and Esther were. I investigated the books. The books are the hints that give you the information to know who the two people keeping an eye on or keeping Forrest Fenn's secret are Kent and Esther. That's what I'm giving you, folks, right now, is all of the information that was in the olive jar that I'm sure has been tampered with now. So you can get mad at me for fucking this treasure hunt up. I understand. I did fuck it up. But I shouldn't get screwed out of the glory of solving this treasure hunt because Shiloh Old wanted to fucking steal it from every single one of us. This is where we should be joining together going, this guy makes fucking sense. Everything he says about Marvell gaze is inside the poem, inside of the books. It all lines up to Palisade Sill. Even at the epilogue, the Palisade at the end. Folks, you need to start watching some of the videos that I've recently put out. The layers video, the videos about the superheroes, the 5-second video of clues. Those are amazing videos that give you so many different superheroes that I've already found. But these are all new ones that I found, and I have so many more. And folks, you can find them. That's what I've tried to say. This whole treasure hunt revolves around Clark Kent and Aunt Esther, the homely girl on the cross that Forrest Fenn. If you just read My War for Me again and look how important that cross was to Forrest Fenn, saying nobody's going to stumble across it. It's all inside the poem to find the final resting place. But all of the books validate the final resting place. And all of the clues around it. The mailbox is, Devil's Mailbox is where you see it from the south side of Palisade Sill. And when Forrest Fenn put into his stories about all of the mailbox things, this is so ingenious of a treasure hunt ending. And it's all gone down the shitter because of Shiloh Old. And Jack Stoof. Folks, one of my videos coming out, I'm going to give you a heads up. I will give you a heads up this time. The actual finding of the cross, even though I found the blaze in 2017, December 2017, and I sent it to Forrest Fenn. 2017, December, a month later, Forrest Fenn announced, hey, I believe the treasure chest, I've got a gut feeling the treasure chest is going to be found by the end of next summer. It's because I found that actual blaze, the true blaze. Now, Forrest Fenn had a fake blaze. You've heard Jack Stoof and Shiloh come up with a make-believe fake blaze, correct? The fake blaze was down next to the cross that was down at Palisade Sill parking area. Folks, when Forrest Fenn said bring a flashlight and a sandwich, the picnic area is right next to that parking lot. And you take the flashlight to go in at night to dig up that treasure at the cross where Kent and Esther was. Every single quote that Forrest Fenn ever said, every single hint, I have answered correctly. But nobody wants to listen. I've said it before. They don't understand who Kent and Esther are because they were not in the poem. Kent and Esther are not supposed to be in the poem. They are the two people guarding his secret, his treasure, his location. And that's what nobody understands, to say, hey, Dave's right. He solved the actual map that was in the poem. He gave you the 9 clues that were in the poem precisely. And I didn't leave out any word. Forrest Fenn said, don't leave out any word in the poem. They're all critical, and they are. And I've broken that poem down so many different times, I don't need to break it down again. I'm telling you that I solved the poem. I solved the map. It brought me directly to Kent and Esther, which are the magic in this whole treasure hunt. And it all got fucked up because Shiloh stole it and then lied about it. And I had to try to come forward with a bunch of people who think they also solved it. And I'm not discrediting all of the work they put in. But I'm telling you, there's one person who solved it, and I am pushing this to the limit. And I'm going to blame Jack Stoof for the death of Michael Sexton in one of my videos, because Jack Stoof is the one who found it, supposedly in September of 2019. March of 2020, as Michael Sexton died out in the wilderness looking for that treasure that Shiloh stole from me. So at this point, Jack Stoof is responsible for the death of Michael Sexton. And you will see that video come out within the next day or two, because that's the one I'm going to work on next. So Jack Stoof, you are responsible for the death of Michael Sexton, because the actual pictures of the treasure chest that was dug up at Palisade Sill, and you said it was up in Wyoming, is actually the date of September of 2019. So that should have been announced, but you guys hit it. Jack Stoof hit it, right? Jack, you're taking all the blame for Michael Sexton's death. This is where you're going to stop pointing the finger at Shiloh going, I'm fucking done, Shiloh. Folks, this is going to get interesting, but I wanted to give you, don't let any kids watch this because I will swear in it, right? This video that I just put out about the actual superheroes and the connections, I have hundreds and hundreds of more. And how involved and deep it gets. Wait until you see the Savant one I put out. The Savant video, there's going to be different savants. Acquired Savant syndrome individuals, regular savants, autism savants, myself savant because of my brain injury. They're all going to be in that Forrest End, the Savant video. That's coming out. But the secret savant that Forrest Fenn hid, one of his superheroes incorporated in the story. It's brilliant, folks. This is all so fucking brilliant. And it was all flushed down the toilet because Shiloh Old decided he wanted to steal the treasure chest and be a big fucking baby about not saying, hey, you know what, Dave? I thought you already took it. And I went and double checked and it was still there. So you deserve it. But the fucking guy was a loser and he's going to fucking pay for it. And he's going to fucking pay for it by being exposed as the biggest fucking asshole in the Forrest Fenn community, letting all of us think that Jack Stoof was the guy who really solved it with no fucking 9 clues. Come on, folks. You must understand that when they give you a position in Yellowstone, there has to be something that lines up somehow for 9 clues. But Forrest Fenn didn't spend 15 years on 9 clues, did he, Shiloh? Forrest Fenn spent 15 years on collecting comic book innuendos and comments and heroes that he put into this treasure hunt. And that's what's going to fucking blow this out of the water for you. Folks, I am Dave Woodard. I am the man who solved Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. I had so many other things that I wanted to say, but I got ranting off onto another subject of multitude of of these videos that I'm going to put out. Because I'm telling you right now, if it hasn't sunk in yet with what I've just showed you, there's over 500 pages and so many. Watch my other videos about the superhero, the 5-second one. Watch the Clark Kent video, or the Bishop's Riddle. Watch that one. That one is, folks, even the 2-minute video. Okay, you want something really? The Forrest Fenn, the Clear Creek video I did. I don't remember what it's called. It's something about, the answer is clear, I think. Clear Creek, 2 miles distance from Palisades Hill. On a map, it's 2 miles distance. Folks, every single thing from the Homer Brown, where Eagle's Nest is, it's 8.3 miles, the more than 8.25, directly on Google to Palisades Hill. Everything lines up to Palisades Hill, New Mexico. This was a fraudulent treasure hunt turned fucking evil. And they've tried to destroy me. They've harassed the shit out of me. Anyways, the information is coming out about everything else. But this video is just a piece of the superheroes and comic book connections that Forrest Fenn infused into his stories. Now, when he says there were clues sprinkled, as I've said in my other videos, if you put sprinkles on your ice cream, are there 2 sprinkles? No, it's loaded with sprinkles. Even there's Superman sprinkles. If you look it up, everything revolves around Superman, superheroes, all of Forrest Fenn's heroes, and my videos show that. Folks, this is the end. This is the beginning of the end. And again, Shiloh, the end is drawing nigh for the truth to come out. People are going to start talking about this. You can't shut me down anymore. I'm done. I have my things I have to deal with for my health. I'm putting these episodes out of this miniseries, and I'm fucking done. I will probably answer some questions. The beeping you hear is somebody sending me a message from the first video about give the poem to a child to read. This, folks, this is the actual true solve of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt at Palisades Hill, New Mexico, in Cimarron Canyon. Folks, thank you for watching. Thank you for a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't too rude to some of the vloggers, but it's time to join in, buddies. It's time to join in and realize, you know what? I'm only looking at 9 clues here. I'm not looking at, you may think you have a bunch of other stuff, but the actual Kent and Esther cross is the magic. That's what the poem leads to. You cannot match the Kent and Esther, which is the homely girl, Aunt Esther from Sanford and Son, and Clark Kent, which is so many innuendos in the book. In the books, folks, look at the comic book pictures and stories he has. It all revolves around him dancing with the stars, and he'll tell you of his secret plan. It's in my videos. It's all there. All you have to do is watch it. If you can stand me for the few minutes that I try to talk in between giving information. That's the difference between my videos and other vloggers. I give you factual information. They just give you ranting, or they'll put a video up. Oh, look at this. Or like, and put the words to a video. Oh, I'm so cool. I'm a superhero now. I hope you guys, I hope the vloggers really, really do look at this. objectively and start to realize you're not really the solver. I hate to tell you, it's not a buddy league. We all had solves, but you're not the actual true solver, and neither is Jack Stoof. And I'm calling them out. And that's where the shit is going to hit the fan. Those guys can't back up what they've said. All the false documents that they've put into court, you know, I'll say it now. Fuck it. Carl, I'm telling you right now, I know that you're backing out. I've heard Carl Sommer is backing out from representing the Forrest Fenn family. I'm hoping to God that you didn't create any of the false documents that Shiloh and all of his fucking cohorts gave to you to give to court. Because if you did yourself, you've gone way above being a dirty lawyer. So you will be called out on it. I'll call you out on it. I don't care. I'm at a point in my life right now. I've got my family I'm going to think about. But as far as when people see that this is the actual true solve, because it's so obvious and what the story is behind it. And the trouble was, folks, everybody had a solve and nobody wanted to listen to anybody else. I had to rise above that. I had to stomp on some of the vloggers, and I didn't want to. And then if you notice, a lot of the vloggers are gone. They don't post videos anymore because they know that the actual true solve is out, but they didn't know how to prove it. Well, folks, I'm going to prove it. I have proven it, actually. Kent and Esther are everything. Kent and Esther are what Forrest Fenn created. And I can tell you, again, those comic books that Forrest Fenn had in his vault to give to the actual solver, that I believe Shiloh gave to Kyle Lazar's and K-Pro as payment to push their fraudulent agenda. Now it's time for them to step forward. Kyle Lazar's, K-Pro, if you know you have fraudulently given information about Shiloh's lies and Wyoming fraud, you will go down with them. You will go down covering the fraud. If you've taken money, which I'm sure you have, I don't care. I'm telling all the vloggers now, and there are a lot of them that are still up Shiloh's ass. You guys will go down with them as covering for fraud. I'll join you right in with it. I don't care. I want the people who are real people, and the people who make mistakes. Believe me, I've made mistakes in my life, and I've tried to own up to all of them. Now's your chance to own up if you know that you're covering fraud for Shiloh Old, because there's many on that list that have gotten paid off, like Cynthia Meacham. Big, big, big. And I'm sure she loves when I say she's balls deep in the fraud in Shiloh's world. Folks, this shit is going to hit the fan. Get ready for it, because I've got a few more videos coming out. I have work I'm doing around my apartment building, and I'm still trying to do this. So this week is going to be hectic, but all the videos are coming that expose the actual fraud that's gone on in Wyoming about 9 Mile Hole, the Lie Mile Hole. And Rudy, you putting that video out, finding that. Don't know if you're good, don't know if you're bad. But Forrest Fenn said at one point that he believed that a man in a wheelchair could go get the treasure chest. And somebody else mentioned that. So Forrest Fenn said that at one point. It was not at 9 Mile Hole where you cross the river and you take your kids. Folks, this is a lie up there. And if you believe it, so be it. Keep believing it, but they give you no information about 9 clues. Jack has already admitted he did not solve the treasure, the 9 clues in the treasure hunt. This is all fraud. It's all a gigantic web of fraud, and we're going to find out who goes down with them. But the main characters in the fraud is Shiloh Old, folks. Forrest Fenn would not acknowledge Jack. Forrest Fenn died with a broken heart. His fucking heart, the work that he put into this treasure hunt, and to have it all shit on by Shiloh Old is tremendous. You notice that they've never taken me to court for slander because I haven't slandered them yet. I'm still waiting. I'm right here, Shiloh. You know. Oh, folks, I could tell you some stories of emails I received. Even when I got rejected for going to court, the court never sent me documents saying, "Hey, Dave, you're not able to go to court anymore. Your case has been thrown out." Or you didn't send letters to whoever, because I'm not a lawyer. I just wanted to put in a motion to intervene in the case. And I received the next day from Kyle Summer a statement. You are not going to court because you've been bumped out. From Kyle Summer. Not from the actual courthouse, not from New Mexico court, not from the judge. Why? Why was that? I should have received something from Carl. I should have received something from the courthouse. I called them 3 days before. I said, hey, I'm coming down to testify. Oh, no, your name's been... I said, I never received anything. Well, that following Monday, I received something from the court, finally. But Kyle Summer jumped right on it. I'm telling you, Kyle, you better not put any fraudulent paperwork or documents or anything. If you created it with them... You're going down with them, man. You're going down with fraud. That's why you backed out. I already know it. So whatever happens, I'm here, Kyle. We can deal with it one-on-one, or you can deal with it with Shiloh. Go back in with them. I don't care. I'm the guy that solved it. I proved it. I am proving it even more with all the information I'm giving. I look like an asshole because I got screwed over. I'm the fucking guy that solved the $2-3 million treasure hunt, and I got screwed over by Forrest Fenn's son. Would you be mad? Of course you would. So you put out the information, and I believe that my acquired savant syndrome helped me find that information about who Kent and Esther really were, and I didn't know that until recently. So that acquired savant syndrome video is coming out, folks. January 2nd. 2023, Dave Woodard, the man from back east. I'm here, folks. I'm here, and I'm going to put more videos out. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you if you've made it this far in the video. I can't even stand watching me sometimes when I look back, because I'm not the asshole that people think that I really am. Everybody that knows me here at home knows that I'm a nice guy. But when you fucking push me, I turn into an asshole. And that's where I'm at. I'm the asshole that solved Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt, that's giving the information out. So, folks, back me, bust me, whatever you want to do. I'll answer. I may not answer. Who knows? I've got other videos to post to get this information out. But either way, thank you for watching. Have a great new year, and I'll see you on the next video. The end is ever drawing nigh. Here we go.